Costa Rica just killed a TV legend, and the lone lifeguard on the beach says the real tragedy was totally preventable. Malcolm-Jamal Warner, the kid we all grew up watching as Theo Huxtable, didn't die on some risky film set or late-night Hollywood freeway. He vanished beneath a playful Caribbean wave while tourists snapped selfies on the sand. Only one man, a volunteer lifeguard named Mike Geist, saw the whole nightmare unfold, and what he's telling reporters is blowing up every accidental drowning headline. Stick around, because by the end of this story, you'll be asking why a world-famous actor was left battling a ferocious rip current with 0 professional rescue teams on duty. The first thing Geist noticed was the flash of an orange surfboard slicing through the foam. Moments earlier, he'd watched Warner wade in with his 8-year-old daughter, laughing each time the water hit their knees. "I could feel the undertow turning nasty," Geist later said, but the posted warnings were practically invisible. When a rogue wave yanked Warner off his feet, Geist sprinted, paddling hard against the rip. Mid-stroke, he saw something heartbreaking. The actor, underwater, still clutching his child's boogie leash, as if trying to push her upward one last time. But here's where it gets crazier. Geist claims he signaled frantically for backup, yet no official lifeguards ever answered. Why? We'll uncover that gap in just a moment. Geist finally reaches Warner, dives, and finds him ghost still near the sandy bottom. Dragging a full-grown adult feels like pulling a car underwater. But adrenaline makes miracles. He locks arms under Warner's shoulders. Another surfer kicks behind, pushing them towards sunlight. As their heads break the surface, Geist hears beachgoers shouting, "Theo! It's Theo!" The recognition turns panic into chaos. He hauls the actor onto a 7-foot board, while the stranger who rescued Warner's daughter paddles the little girl to shore, tears streaking her salt-sprayed cheeks. To understand why this matters, you need to know what happened the moment they slid that board onto the sand. Because the fight for Warner's life was far from over.
2 vacationing doctors drop their towels and launch into CPR. 30 compressions, 2 breaths, repeat. Minutes stretch like hours in the scorching noon sun. "We went past the 30-minute mark," Geist recalls, voice cracking. "But none of us wanted to be the one to call it." Around the 45-minute mark, pulse checks turn desperate. Finally, paramedics arrive, but reality is already sinking in. Warner is still, skin cooling, eyes fixed. The official report later lists asphyxiation by submersion, but Geist swears they were robbed of precious seconds. Seconds he believes might have tipped the balance. Yet the biggest shock comes when reporters dig into why professional lifeguards never appeared. And the answer points to a budget decision that will leave you furious. Playa Clis sits near the far edge of Limon province, a postcard paradise. And according to the Caribbean Guard volunteer group, one of our most challenging beaches. Here's the bombshell. The local municipality pulled funding for paid lifeguards 2 seasons ago, leaning on donations and weekend volunteers instead. On the day Warner visited, only 3 volunteers covered miles of deadly surf, their radios half-charged, their signage faded by salt and sun. Geist says the rip current flags had blown down overnight. Nobody re-secured them. But that wasn't the whole story. An internal memo revealed the beach had petitioned for emergency funds after 2 drownings last year, and was denied. Keep listening, because the political fallout is just beginning. As news of Warner's death ricochets through Hollywood, celebrities tweet condolences and outrage. Co-stars recall his gentle spirit, fans binge old Cosby Show reruns, sharing clips of teenage Theo learning tough life lessons. Studio execs scrambled to promote Warner's final TV arc on 911, suddenly haunted by the irony. He'd played a nurse who survived a catastrophic fire. Now the man who portrayed resilience fell victim to a silent killer most tourists underestimate. And still, one question rumbles online comment sections. Why was he in the water, at a beach notorious for lethal rips? The answer leads back to a small, overlooked warning sign and a chilling pattern of tourists trusting calm surfaces that hide churning traps. Reporters pieced together Warner's last vacation day. He promised his daughter one more swim before lunch. Witnesses say he scanned the shoreline, saw surfers bobbing peacefully, and assumed it was safe. What he couldn't see were the fingers of current snaking out to sea beneath. According to oceanographers, Playa Coclis has a rip channel so strong, it can drag Olympic swimmers hundreds of meters in under a minute. Geist says he's pulled 13 people from that exact spot this year alone. "We've begged for a dedicated rescue tower," he tells a local paper. But they keep saying there's no cash. And what happened next would shock everyone watching the live newsfeed. Because Warner's widow breaks her silence and aims her grief straight at policymakers. Through a short, trembling statement, Mrs. Warner thanks the surfers and doctors, then delivers a pointed plea. If a world-famous face can't spark safety funding, whose child must be next? Her words trigger a petition demanding Costa Rica overhaul its beach safety budgets within 90 days. Thousands sign in the first hour. Tourism officials issue a lukewarm promise to review protocols, but critics blast it as too little, too late. Meanwhile, Hollywood agents privately warn clients about swimming at unmonitored tropical hotspots, sparking rumors that a major studio might blacklist certain beaches for future productions. But the real twist lands when Geist reveals an overlooked detail about Warner's rescue attempt that changes everything you think you know about his final moments. Geist says that when he first spotted trouble, he saw Warner pushing his daughter onto the surfboard, literally sacrificing his footing to keep her afloat. The effort cost him seconds, and in rip current physics, a few seconds decide life or death. That selfless act reframes the narrative. Malcolm-Jamal Warner didn't just drown. He died performing a father's instinctive rescue. Suddenly, social media explodes with the hashtag Theo the Hero. Clips of his iconic TV speeches about family go viral, layered with soft wave music and swirling text. He lived his message to the end. Yet the tragedy still begs the question, would heroism have been necessary if basic safety infrastructure had been in place? Here's the payoff no one saw coming. Days after Warner's passing, a tech billionaire vacationing nearby pledges $1 million to fully staff Playa Coclis with certified lifeguards and high-visibility signage by year's end. Rival resorts scramble to match the donation, terrified of their own PR disaster. The Costa Rican Tourism Board schedules an emergency summit. Rumors swirl about mandatory beach safety audits, and volunteer lifeguard groups from around the globe offer to train local teams. In life, Warner played a lovable brother. In death, he may become the catalyst that saves countless strangers from the very rip that stole him. And that brings us to the question echoing like surf against the shore. How many more headlines will it take for paradise to admit its hidden dangers before your dream vacation turns into someone's worst nightmare? Drop your thoughts below, hit subscribe for our deep dives into celebrity stories that matter, and stay tuned. Next time, we'll unravel the scandal rocking another beloved 90s icon. And trust me, the plot twist in that saga is even wilder than this rip current tragedy.